Well, good morning and welcome to today's 150th anniversary of the establishment of the Phoenix Townsite. 150th is also known as the Sesquicentennial, which I had to practice quite a bit. So you'll hear a lot about a Sesquicentennial event today. I'm City Manager Ed Zuercher, and it's my privilege to be here with you today and with our speakers. Over the past year, council members Laura Pastor and Felda Williams met with a small group to plan what they hoped would be a celebration befitting of a sesquicentennial milestone. However, a little global pandemic got in the way of that and changed some things, as it has changed the aspect of many things that we have to do. But we've persevered. So today you'll hear brief statements from our Mayor, Kate Gallego, council members Laura Pastor and Felda Williams, and historian Steve Schumacher. We'd like to recognize and thank the Downtown Phoenix Partnership and Downtown Phoenix Incorporated, represented today by Devney Preuss, the Executive Director, Heritage Square, the city's Community and Economic Development Department, and the Phoenix Convention Center for their help. Now before we go forward, I'm going to say, is there anything we need to do with this microphone? Okay, I'll just talk loud. So at this time, we will have our speakers. So I'm pleased to have three pieces of Phoenix history here with us, three members representing Phoenix history. We have Mayor Kate Gallego, who I estimate is the 55th mayor of Phoenix, and only the second female mayor elected by the residents of Phoenix. She will be followed by Councilwoman Laura Pastor of District 4, who is the fourth Latina when she was elected in 2014, started service in 2014, the fourth Latina council member in the city of Phoenix. And finally, we will have Councilwoman Felda Williams, who has served on the city council for 19 years, and has served as an appointed mayor of Phoenix 3 different times. So we have genuine Phoenix history here today with us. At this time, I will begin with our mayor, Kate Gallego.
Happy 150th birthday to the Phoenix Townsite. I am so excited to be with you here today to celebrate this important milestone in our city's history. On October 26th, 150 years ago, our pioneering families dedicated the townsite. They made key decisions that serve us today, including the grid system that helps Phoenix be a city that is easier to navigate than many of our peer cities. Today, we celebrate their decision and their vision. We also celebrate the Hohokam communities that first welcomed residents to this community, mapped out the canal system that inspired future residents to choose this site. They chose the name Phoenix, talking about rising, and that is so perfect as we talk about Phoenix rising from the challenges of 2020. The original town site is now home to more than 18 cranes that are building the future. We are still a young city, and that first town site will be part of our future as we emerge from 2020, a stronger and more resilient city. Today, we honor our history, those pioneer families, the historians who have kept the future in front of us. I want to thank Steve, Councilwoman Williams, Councilwoman Laura Pastor, and their entire committee for putting on this important celebration and marking Phoenix history today. A 5-year-old once asked me during COVID if I could decree an extended birthday celebration for him because he wasn't enjoying the birthday as much during COVID. And as far as I know, the city charter doesn't prohibit us from doing that. So not only is that 5-year-old going to get an extended birthday, but I think we will keep celebrating 150 years of Phoenix Townsite and hope to gather with even larger groups when it is safe to do so. So today marks the beginning of our celebration of 150 years, and one that we will continue to mark as we recognize all that Phoenix has accomplished and our great future in front of us. We would not be here today without leadership from two councilwomen who are passionate about Phoenix's roots and its history. And today I get to welcome one of those, Councilwoman Laura Pastor, to the podium.
Thank you for welcoming me. I actually give you a little brief history in how this all came about. So in 1870, a handful of farmers were establishing an irrigation fields near this area for agriculture. They formed the Salt River Valley Association to determine the best place for a new town site. The town site was divided into 98 blocks. Most blocks were 300 feet long and contained 12 lots. Center Street, now Central Avenue, was the main north-south running street. Central Street divided the town site into 2 equal halves, with 7 north and south streets to the east and 7 north avenues to the west. The plan the settlers used was practical and democratic. Their systematic design truly laid the foundation for how the city grew over the next 150 years. And so all of us know that grid map on how we divide the avenues and the streets. It is important to note that within the original township, a block was set aside for a public school. The settlers knew how important it was then to have an educational anchor. Very similar to the educational anchor we have in downtown Phoenix 150 years later with ASU and the UOA Biomedical Campus. The historic districts in my council district today are direct outgrowths from the original township, and I am proud, very proud, because I represent 80% of them within the rich historical story. So thank you, and I will now pass it to Councilwoman Felda Williams.
Thank you all for coming today. It's been an honor to work on this project. I will tell you, our staffs have done most of the work. Zena, Andrea, and Michael have been very busy putting it all together, and I want to tell you how much I appreciate it. It's really an honor to be here today. When you think back to 1870, pioneers were moving in. It's somewhat similar to today. People just keep moving here, which we're all delighted about. When they decided it was getting crowded is when a group of men decided that they needed to create a township. So they had, on the 20th of October, they met for the first preliminary discussion, and come up with a plan. They met again on the 26th of October to formalize that they are creating a township. I think if they looked at what we are today, they would truly be amazed. Even though it was rapidly growing back then, that 240 people would never visualize this 1.6 million living in Phoenix. And my area that I represent in District 1 was so far out, they wouldn't even probably take quite a while to drive out there with horse and buggy. I'm sure it would have been a day's trip to go out there to have a picnic in the middle of the desert. But I think they would be so proud of where we are, what we have become, and that we are an international city now, the 5th largest in America, all because of 240 men that got together 150 years ago today. So thank you for being here. Ed?
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilmember Pastor, all for being here and signifying the importance of this day. You'll see behind me is the original Township celebration sign for the 150 years, as well as street banners that we'll see in downtown Phoenix from the Downtown Phoenix Partnership celebrating the 150 years. So that will continue throughout the year, as the mayor said, as we extend our birthday celebration a little bit. You know, I was reading on the city's website that the original sale of this township site they did a subscription and collected $50 to purchase the land that we stand on. And so it's pretty remarkable to think about what $50 meant 150 years ago. But we're going to have someone tell us a little more about the history here. Steve Schumacher is a historian of Phoenix who is passionate about educating our residents, our children, on the unique history of the city. We'll just try that. Steve and his network of historians take great pride in bringing public attention to the need and opportunities to honor and celebrate the history and the heritage of Phoenix. Mr. Steve Schumacher. You just have to talk
Thank
loud.
you. That's fine. Not a problem with that. Good morning, everybody. I didn't know where I was this morning. I turned on the faucet and cold water actually came out. I was thinking I might need to move back to South Dakota, get a little bit warmer these days. But I'd like to express my personal thank you to Mayor Gallego, Councilwoman Williams, City Manager Zuercher, and also a special thank you to Andrea Gaston, wherever Andrea went. Andrea, if you don't know her, she is a unique person who has that fine ability to make difficult things look very easy. So thank you very much, Andrea, for all of your help. So what happened? What happened on October 26, 1870? Just a few stories, which I don't know what else I can add to what the previous speakers already had to say. But three things essentially happened on that day. The first, as we all know, the town site itself was designated with Van Buren on the north, Harrison, the railroad tracks on the south, 7th Avenue on the west, and 7th Street on the east. So that's pretty easy. We know that town site was designated. Now, what not a lot of people don't know is that was a very contentious decision. There were two other locations that were considered, and one was already being surveyed. So when you think about the fact that this site was the third one that was actually chosen, the meeting, as Councilwoman Williams mentioned, on October 26th, which is about 3/4 of a mile as a crow flies from here, was pretty contentious. You can imagine farmers, pistols, guns, lots of whiskey. It was a pretty contentious meeting out here near Heritage Square. So that's one thing that happened. The second thing that happened was that town site designation planted the seeds for what we know as Phoenix, the 5th largest city in the country. Now, along with that prosperity, as Ed had mentioned, right about where we're standing, there was a lot that was sold just 8 years later for the huge amount of $7. A little bit further, right over here, there was two lots together that were sold for a total of $11. Now, where the city council chambers are, and just on the other side of that, that whole property sold for the huge amount of $47.50. So when you stop and you think about the prosperity that has happened to all of this area in the town site over the decades and over a century and a half that we've been in existence, you can understand what's happened. Now, the third thing that's happened, oh, I'm sorry, the microphone, thank you. The third thing that happened, which in my estimation is probably the most important, is designating this town site planted the seed to educate our citizens and, more importantly, our children as to what their history is. Now, those of you that are parents, or you're parents of young children, adults, whatever, or even grandkids, you know as well as I do that there's a point in a child's life, whether they're 3 or 13 or 33 or 43, where they want to know where they came from, which sometimes can be a pretty difficult conversation for a first-time parent. But they also want to know something about the history of the area they grew up in. Now, they may ask you or they may not ask you, but they still wonder. So what was also accomplished on October 26th of 1870 is the seeds were planted for people like us to share with our children the fascinating history of our community. And that's an important thing to do. So now you have a choice when your child asks you that question, tell me some history about our area. You can say, well, I really don't know, or it's all been knocked down. Or if you're like me, you'll look at that 3-year-old, the 13-year-old, or the 43-year-old, and you'll say, I'm glad you asked. I've been waiting for you to ask. We've saved our history just for you. So thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate it. I hope we're all around for 175th and the 180th and so forth. So have a good day. Thank you so much.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. All right. Well, thank you. You know, when Phoenix was started, the issue was temperate climate and reliable water in a great location to attract investment in regional commerce. And as our speakers, Councilwoman Williams mentioned, that's what we see today. That's the basis on which we stand here today. So thank you for sharing this history with us. After the town site was established, the pioneers of that time planted the first cottonwood tree, family residences were built, a courthouse was built, and we see one behind us as well, a store, a hotel, and more. So Phoenix, in the middle of a desert, lived up to his name to rise out of the ashes. So once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mayor Gallego, Councilmember Williams, Councilmember Pastor, and our historian, Steve. And thank you all for being here today to celebrate 150 years of Phoenix. Thank you so much.